going to get started?
Yeah.
So it's my pleasure to introduce Lucy. She, I guess, was born in Tennessee but thought better of it. She's now at the University of Oregon, where she's co-founder and president of their AHA. And so I should clarify that our group at Stanford is also called AHA, for Atheists, Humanists, and Agnostics, with an exclamation point, AHA. Hers is the Alliance of Happy Atheists. And I think as soon as she starts talking, we'll see why.
All right, thank you so much. Can everyone hear me? Is the mic? Is it good?
Maybe a little higher. A little louder.
Okay. All right, again, everyone, hi. My name is Lucy. Again, I'm from the University of Oregon, and I'm the co-founder and president of the Alliance of Happy Atheists at the University of Oregon in Eugene. First and foremost, let me say how incredibly excited I am to be here. Thank you so much, Liz, and everyone who works for the SSA for having us. I don't know who I would be as an organizer. I don't know what my group would be as an organization without the SSA, from the online resources to the funding to the grants to the Speakers Bureau to the incredible student running guide, which I used the day that we had our first meeting about a year ago. From all that, just thank you so much and just for existing. You don't know how much support you've given us. And secondly, thank you all for being here. It's so awesome to be a part of this new wave of atheist and secular activism in the US, and I think what we're doing is really important. So it's an honor to be here, and thank you so much for listening to me. So in your brochure, my presentation is Growing Your Group. Now, if you haven't seen already, I like to think of myself as an enthusiastic person. I like to think that I'm 110% and not just 100%. So I like to think that this presentation isn't just about growing your group. It's about growing your group to be the most phenomenal, fantastic group, energized, active, fun group you can possibly make it be. And before I kind of go into the nitty-gritty of group dynamics and event ideas and advertising and things like that, I want to kind of give you the foundation for, I guess, the meta goal for atheist and secular activism that I see. And I think the foundation for my presentation is this. I think we have to the key to making our groups really successful, really big, and gaining lots of members and making them very active is by being as inclusive as possible to all of the secular people in your community. And the way that we do that, and this is what I believe, we have to reinvent the way. We have to do two things. We have to reinvent atheism. We have to reinvent secularism for people. And number two, we have to reinvent that image ourselves, because we have to change the way we cater to and support secular students on our campus. Now, I'm going to talk about that a little. So, this is my hypothesis, obviously, but I think if you went up to anyone on the street and asked them, who do you think of when you think of an atheist? I think they're going to give you one of two examples. They're going to either say Richard Dawkins or Christopher Hitchens. Would people kind of agree with this? Like, these are two big names that people know? Now, again, I love these two guys. I probably wouldn't be the atheist I am today without the God delusion, Richard Dawkins. I mean, he's awesome. When I got to see him in October in Portland, it was an incredible experience for me. But to kind of think about these guys, they're middle-aged, they're white, they're males. They are not only incredibly intelligent and have done awesome things for the atheist community, they're also hyper-intellectual, quite elitist, and very anti-religious. And think about that. I mean, for the first part, they're middle-aged white men, British also. And I don't really know, but that doesn't really fit how I am. And I don't really think they're the best representatives for the new secular community. I mean, look around us. We're a diverse group. I know that my group is diverse. It's probably 60-40 women to men in my club. We don't just have white guys. We have a whole beautiful smorgasbord of variety. And I think that's something that we can really, really make happen in our groups. And the way we do this, again, is by showing people that not all atheists, not all secular people, not all free thinkers are these white men who are anti-religious and elitist and hyper-intellectual. And how can we go about doing this? How can we show people that? We have to prove it to them. And the way that we go about proving it to people, that atheists can be, and secular people can be happy and fun and social and just like everybody else. We can do this, we can prove this to people by balancing our meetings, balancing our events, not just with information and critical thinking and arguments and lectures and things like that, but also having social events too. And that's something I think that we really, really need to focus on in our groups. The way to make them inclusive, i.e. the way to make them successful and long-lasting and diverse, we have to not just cater to that stereotypical atheist image of someone who only wants to go to lectures, who only wants to talk about, where did morality come from, and go to presentations and watch like the Four Horsemen YouTube clip on their Friday night. That's awesome. It's great. It's so positive to encourage critical thinking, to encourage, talk about what is secularism, what is secular humanism. That stuff is amazing, but we also have to cater to the people who don't really care about morality, they care about morality, that sounds bad. They don't really care about those debates. They don't really want to, go through the debunking process of Kirk Cameron's banana video. Again, all those things are really, really fun, but we have to cater to the huge majority, or the huge number of secular students who don't really care a whole lot about that, who need something more than just the information-dense things. So, kind of my example, and hopefully this will be an appropriate example, is think about the Christian groups on your campus. Think about Young Life. Think about Campus Crusade for Christ. Think about InterVarsity. Are all of you pretty familiar with one of these groups? I know InterVarsity is the biggest one on my campus, yeah. Think about it. They are all founded in Christianity. They're rooted in Christian ideas, the idea of Christian fellowship, the idea of Christian values, quote unquote. But they're not all about, if you go to their meetings, if you go to anything that they have, their Facebook group, they're not just focusing on like dense analytical arguments about the Bible. They're not just kind of sitting in a group discussion saying, okay, how can we debunk this, this, and this? They're not just doing really super informational type things. They're doing Bible studies, they're doing the panels, they're doing the lectures, but they're also doing really fun things like hiking trips and barbecues and bowling and totally unrelated movie nights and things like and study groups. And all those things are really, really fun. And I think that multifacetedness, that combining of the information along with the social is so important, and it's something that we really, really, really have to start fostering in our groups. And I'm trying to think of my example. So what I like to think of is this. A lot of people use the term, leading atheists or having a group for atheists. It's like herding cats. And I don't even know how many times I've said this to one of my executive members, kind of with the eye roll and the sarcastic side. But I really don't, and I also think a lot of us kind of take a little pride in this. Like, yeah, we are like herding cats. We're free thinkers, we do what we want. Like, we have our own opinions. And that's great, and I think that's true. But I don't really think atheists, leading atheists, being a part of a group of atheists is like herding cats. I think atheists are just like any other type of person, but they just don't know that it's okay to be herded. They don't know that it's okay. They don't know that it's okay to be in a community. They don't know that it's okay to want to foster that idea of fellowship and community. And again, I really want to stress that if you balance the information, again, those awesome debates, getting P.Z. Myers and doing the panels and all that cool stuff, along with the idea that atheists are fun and social and they can interact with each other and have a good time, it will blow people's minds. And I think I can speak with some kind of authority on this because this is what we've tried to do on my campus. And I cannot even tell you the reactions that we've gotten. So I'm going to show you a couple slides. And how am I on time? Fine, okay, good. So, oh wait, I have this. Okay, so, okay, so advertising. And I'm not going to talk a whole lot about this. I think there's someone else doing something on it. But advertising is so important because especially the tactics that you use the first time you start advertising, those are the tactics that people will remember for the rest of their time that they're on campus. How many people have come up to you and said, oh yeah, I remember that flyer you did, or oh yeah, I remember you guys being out on that table. People come up to you and say that kind of thing, right? Lots of your members, the way that they hear about your club is through advertising. And I think there's one question that you have to answer before you start advertising and before you start analyzing your way of advertising. And it is this. Do you want to be the Jesus is a cunt guy? Joel, I know you do. This is the question. This is the question you have to answer for yourself before you start advertising, or before you when you think about your advertising. Because when you advertise, when you start advertising, or when you advertise, you have to realize that your tactics immediately affect not only the people that you're encouraging to come to your meetings, but the people that you're excluding. And now I don't think a lot of people in this room would be this kind of guy, but except for Joel, you're excluded from this. But you have to think, what are you doing to advertise? How many people poster around their campus, actually have posters that they stand out with? Yeah, raise hands. Okay, so a couple people, and that's what we do too. And what are the phrases that you're using on your flyers? What are the images that you're using? Because, like it or not only are a ton of religious people going to be offended by this kind of thing, but a lot of secular people are going to be offended as well. So just think about your tactics. So this is just so these are two signs, again, very bad quality. Well, the posters are bad quality too because we had to make them in an hour. But these are just two examples of what we did on our campus. So we're the Alliance of Happy Atheists again, and a little background on this. There's a guy. His real name is Doug. I think I'm the only person who knows that. Everybody else refers to him as the Jesus guy. And I say, oh yeah, Doug's out again. I'm like, who's Doug? Oh, the Jesus guy. I guess I'm the only one who cares about his real name. So he stands out every day at the University of Oregon campus. And he has a big sign. He's really nice. He doesn't say anything, but he has a big sign that says, trust in Jesus. And we thought, a big part of our mission statement with AHA is, supporting people in their independence. We want people to know that it's okay to not believe in God. You can trust in yourself. You can trust in your family and your friends and your own sense of that can-do attitude. You don't have to depend on a God to make things happen and to feel good. So we put this up on a sign, and along with it, we put our name. And on the back of the sign, we also had, atheists love you, and then there was also ask a happy atheist anything. We also had a sign that said that. And these were the first two signs that we ever had on our campus, and we've been around for a year, so pretty much exactly a year ago, we were out with these signs. And the reaction that we got was unbelievable. People would come up to us, literally speechless. And they would just look at our signs and say, and I know this is crazy, and I know you're not going to believe me when I say this, but so many people would just come up and say, happy atheist, I didn't know there was such a thing. And that's so wrong. I don't know about you guys, but I'm so happy. Okay, so you know that, I don't need to say. But you're all smiling, you're happy to be here. I think all of us love life. We're happy that we're just going to die, not go to heaven, we're going to get eaten by worms. That's okay. We're happy. When in Penn Gillette, I have blue skies, rainbows, and Hallmark cards. That's all I have, and that's all there is in the world, and I'm happy about it. Something along that line. I think atheists are mostly very happy. They're content people. And this will blow people's minds. Again, people do not know what to make of the fact that atheists are not only, smart and they'll have these cool events, but they're also nice and they want to talk to you and they're social and they have social events. It will be so big for people. And not only will you get, the atheists who are atheists and want to come to your group, but you'll also really get those people who are on the fence and say, oh, I'm agnostic, but I would never really want to go to a meeting with such a, I don't know, they're probably all weird and hate God and whatever. And you'll really get those, if you use some of these tactics, you'll really get those people on the fence, and you'll really start to include a huge majority, or a huge degree of people, a huge amount of people that you might have been excluding before you use some more positive tactics, I guess. So that's what I'll say about advertising. So, okay, this is a weird side, but events. So again, we've talked about how having debates, having presentations, having panels, those are all amazing. Those are all really, really good ideas. But there are also some events that you can have that aren't really solidly based in secularism or humanism or atheism, that can still be really, really fun for people. And again, we'll get those people on the middle ground who aren't super interested in the debates, who aren't super interested in the Richard Dawkins clips and things like that, but will still be very valuable members of your group. So one idea that we had is, actually Megan, my secretary, came up with this idea, and I was very skeptical. I'm skeptical. I said, you know, scavenger hunt, like this is atheist, I don't really know. Isn't this something that sororities do? But then again, you know, there's nothing wrong with kind of being like a sorority. There's nothing wrong with being kind of like an atheist youth group. And so we had the scavenger hunt. And so it was our second big meeting. We had our first, and we have weekly meetings. We have a weekly, you know, meeting every Thursday. And we balance and we go social, business, or planning, social, business, that type of thing. And it works really well. So this was our second meeting after the first introductory meeting. And what we did, we all got in a group. We had lots of people come. We just put flyers up. But we had more than usual. We had maybe 70 people come to this one, 80. And we split everybody. And another important tactic when you do this kind of event is to number people off. So they're all with different people when they're in groups. Does everyone know what I'm talking about? So, okay, everybody, we're going to get into a group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And everybody's in a different group. Everybody's getting to know each other. And it's actually a really good thing. And it makes things very positive. But anyways, so we did a scavenger hunt. We put people into groups. We had the Satanist team. We had like Team Jehovah's Witness, Team Agnostics. It was really fun. And we had some good times. So we really balanced things between like just goofy pictures, and this was like a photographic photography scavenger hunt. So you take pictures of a list that we gave them. So one was like, how many atheists can you get into a public bathroom? That was exciting. We also had, reverently irreverent, I don't know what we could call it, irreverent type things like, who can you crucify? Can you find somebody to baptize? Get lots of pictures like that. But something else you can do with something like a scavenger hunt is really foster, here's someone else being baptized, you can really foster your group, and you can really create that team spirit that is really cool to create in your group and really have people coming back to meetings. And this was another part of the scavenger hunt, but we just said, do something fun. Take a picture of something fun that you can do with our logo. And I love this picture so much, because you can't really tell how many people are actually in the lab, but they went to the computer lab, and everyone got on the computer, and they put up, and obviously you can see this, but they put up on every screen our logo, just AHA with the exclamation point. And I just think that's really cute. And someone else, another team got up, one person got on top of the student union, on the roof of the student union, and took a picture of these people spelling out AHA. I just love this because our activism committee chair is like in the fetal position doing the exclamation point. I just think it's really cool. We always point this picture out to her. So just like a scavenger hunt, something fun that you can do. It can have little segments of secularism or humanism. We also did things where people could take pictures of cool atheist quotes or atheist books they found in the library. But it's not information dense. It's just really fun. It's a communal type thing that people can do. Okay, I love this. I love this. This was, who has heard that great quote? I think actually August mentioned it, but like atheists are the most mistrusted minority in the United States. And this is really something that inspired one meeting that we had last term, and it was, can you trust an atheist? And just look at this flyer. Like, how can you not go to a meeting if it collectively has puppies, kittens, baby chicks, cute girls, dolphins, rainbows, and unicorns? Like, how can you say no to that? It can be. Like, how can you say no? You can't. So again, this was a team building, can you trust an atheist event. And again, we have lots of people come to this one, I think 50 or 60 people. Lots of people actually who had never been to meetings before, so this was a good first meeting for a lot of people. So again, it's a building trust, can take a lifetime. We've got an hour. We addressed the age-old question, can you trust an atheist? So some of the activities that we did were, we did like the human knot. Have you all played that where you all kind of, I don't know, I won't go explain it, it's fun. And we played like a cool role-playing game where it was like the nuclear apocalypse, and there were 10 people in a group, and you had to choose like 6 people to survive, and we all had characters, and it was really fun. And we also did something, the ah-ha-ha-ha game, which is what they came up with. We all sat on the floor, and like you put your head on someone's belly, and you put their head goes on your belly, and you like all try to not laugh. Really fun. Again, like this isn't something that people typically think of when they think of an atheist group. So like think of kind of the image change that will go on if you have kind of like just fun, cool events like that. And I can't really remember my next thing. Okay, another thing to think of, I'm actually going to go through that. That's just parties that you can have. Another thing that you can think of is doing extracurricular non-school activities. So not necessarily, aside from having that like one Thursday meeting that we have, we also do things on the weekends. And we also do things during the summer. So this is a couple of AHA girls at the Ducks game, at our football game. We all went as a big group. We once made a bunch of pies and ate them at the student union together, and this is just something we put on our Facebook. We just said, hey, whoever wants to do this, we're going to do it, and you're welcome to come. And we have a really cool non-trad student who bought us like 30 Nerf guns, just out of the goodness of his heart. He made a lot of money during the .com boom. I don't really want to ask him. But again, we had like a Nerf fight, and we also went swimming during the summer. And again, this is just something that you can do to just change things up. So I'm going to wrap up because I know I don't have any time. So think about it. Remember to be inclusive, cater to the needs of all varieties of secular students in your community. When advertising, think about who you're excluding and who you're including with your tactics. And I really want to stress this. Don't be afraid of creating atheist youth group. There's really, really nothing wrong with that. It's very positive, actually. And balance the informational meetings with the really fun, social, lighthearted ones, too. So thank y'all so much for having me. I appreciate it. And if you have any questions,